Good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the regular meeting for the DuPage County Ethics Commission for October 11th, 2023. At this point, if I could have the roll call, please.
Member Dimling.
Present.
Member Benson.
Here.
Member Cahalan.
Here.
Member Clemens.
Here.
Member Donner.
Here. Thank you. At this point, for chairman's remarks, I really don't have any remarks. It's been an unremarkable summer, which is a good thing from our perspective. And really very little has happened. Unless anyone has any questions of the chair, we can move on to public comment. I see no one from the public present. So we can also move on to the minute approval for the minutes of the last meeting. I believe we were all sent copies of the minutes. If you've all had a chance to review those, I would entertain first of all, are there any questions or corrections to the minutes that any of the commissioners might have? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minute.
I have a second.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If I could have a vote. Can we do a voice vote? We'll do a voice vote. If I get a voice vote, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. The next action item is the proposed schedule for the 2024 Ethics Commission meeting schedule that was attached to the minutes you received. The proposed dates are February 14th, 2024, June 12th, 2024, and October 9th, 2024. Are there any questions or comments with respect to those? Yes. I was gonna look at that. Flowers only. Okay, no chocolates. Any other questions or comments? Could I have a motion to approve the proposed meeting schedule for 2024?
If we can strike the flowers requirement and bring back chocolate, please.
Well, I can only speak for myself. I've had enough chocolate, I'll tell you that.
Make another motion to accept the 2024 calendar.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further comment? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. The next item is old business. Do we have any old business to discuss? I do not believe so. The next item is new business. We need to discuss the fiscal year 24 ethics training.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we're coming up, and per the ordinance, we're required to have the Ethics Commission approve the following fiscal year's ethics training. Traditionally, what we've done is every other year we've taken a deep dive to look at it, see what revisions, add any new questions. We did that last year, so this year would be that off year where we don't make substantial changes. However, it is at the commission's desire. If I know I sent it to you all, if you have any comments, questions, we can make any edits. Otherwise, I would just ask for consensus to have this approved, and then we can send it out in January like we've historically done.
I'm wondering if you could just go through very briefly for us what updates were made from last year to this year.
Sure. So last year is when we added two questions. It was two different hypotheticals. One was in regards to, I believe it was the receiving a gift of, I want to say it was Cubs tickets is what I think we did. And then the secondary one, I'm trying to remember what it was, but I think it was working with a vendor on something. And I apologize, I can't remember specifically what that was. But so it was adding more context. It was based off of a scenario in which a question arose, and we thought it was prevalent to put a question in there so people could understand the context of that. However, as the chair indicated, it has been an unusually quiet summer, and I haven't heard from either our ethics advisor or investigator that there's any prevalent issues that would have suggested a new question or something along those lines. Because we try to, obviously, if it's an unsubstantiated claim, we try to protect that individual who is, but at the same time, if it's a notable thing of let's clarify this, that's when we'll bring it up. But we haven't had that this year, so which I think is a very good thing. Great to hear that we're positive with that. But it would just look, as we talk about for next year, you know, what would we like to see changed then? Hit your mic on.
Sorry. If we look at the ethics training as a product, word gets out that the employees of the county have to fill it out and participate. We have to have something that they respond to and understand. Can I find out what the overall response rate was for the last time we put this package out? Did it go over well? Did it achieve its?
Yes, and I can grab my numbers here in a second for last year's. I believe I get an update in February or March when where we're at, but I believe we're pretty close to 100% completion, if I remember correctly. So per ordinance, all employees are required to complete it. So we do, I don't want to say hound them, but we remind them of their need to complete this per.
The 100% answer was
correct. Yes, that it's very close to, if not. The reason that you'll never see the number officially be 100 is because it doesn't take into effect right away. Some employees who leave and some of that new start on is they don't sometimes get that email. So you'll never see that perfect number, but we do try to get as close as possible. And that's just because of lag in hiring or departure.
just a quick follow-up. It seems from my experience sitting here that over the years, having that package put in front of them to have them look at it is probably the greatest deterrent DuPage County has. So keeping that model working and whatever seems to be positive. Thank you.
Just to let everyone know, I was just talking in the elevator on the way up with the IG. We've gotten about 5 complaints so far this year. All of them were dismissed because of jurisdiction. They weren't employees or they were issues that weren't covered under the ethics ordinance. So far, we haven't gotten any real complaints that legitimately fall within the ethics ordinance. They are generally complaints that people have, and they don't know where else to go. And when they see there's somebody that's tangentially involved with the county, they file it with the Ethics Commission, and our IG will then respond to that. And in most cases, and I think we've been through this, in most cases, they're dismissed for lack of jurisdiction. For instance, it's not an employee of the county. When I first came on, of interest to me, given my background, was we get complaints against judges. You know, somebody's unhappy with a judge, they'll file a complaint with us. We don't have jurisdiction over judges. As a result, we send a letter out saying that they don't fall within our ethics ordinance. There are other avenues. If you have a complaint against a judge, you can follow, but we're not the appropriate venue. And so far this year, I think of all our complaints, they've all been issues that we do not have jurisdiction over, which indicates that whatever training and education is being done seems to at least have some effect, that we're not getting those types of complaints. So that's sort of the good news of all of this.
And I'll echo exactly that. The training component is key, that we keep employees informed of their expectations. And you're right, I think that helps defer it. And to also piggyback, yes, some of the elected offices, actually none of the elected offices, countywide offices, are required to abide by this ordinance. They're their own entity. They have to do the state ethics, but this is for the ones under county board jurisdiction. And I don't recollect any of the EOs signing off or agreeing to this ordinance. I don't think there's any countywides that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's no countywides besides the county board authority.
I didn't see any of the posters in the elevators for the different parts of DuPage County, but again, the same comment from years that I make is if we can figure out a way in the newsletter that goes to employees or whatever, just to have some space in there to say, not only do you take this review thing, but during the year, if you need us, we're here as a positive.
So I know this year you, the Ethics Commission or these guidelines were in the newsletter. I believe it was twice at minimum. But we can, and then there was, I think it was ethics training reminder, but we can actually just talk about ethics in general. That's not a problem. That's done through the county board office. So I can talk with our communications team.
I know that there are some other trainings out there that every employee in the state, like sexual harassment training, everybody has to have. And I guess I wonder in the context of that question, whether our marketing of what people have to do to get this training follows a similar fashion to those other training modules, or if there's any coordination in those.
Yeah, so there's annual training. There's a couple, and I might miss one, and I apologize if I do. But we are going through. The IT department is actually working on a new training software that we use. Training DuPage is what we use now. But my understanding is we have a new vendor, so the way we give it to employees is going to be a little different starting next year, like how they can access it. But at that time, yes, there's a sexual harassment training that's annually done. Those are typically, the emails are sent pretty much the same time the ethics one is sent, as well as their cybersecurity training, which is done through a different vendor currently too. But that's another email that gets sent and follow up to that. I believe there's one other annual training, and I'm blanking on what that particular may be. But yes, it's all done through one portal, and when you log in, you see which trainings you're required to do. When you're onboarded to DuPage, there's also a couple additional trainings. Just, the introductory and getting your feeling of what's going on here and how you can be an employee. So yes, it's all done through a centralized portal, if you may.
Great, thank you.
Need a motion for approval on this.
I think it's more just consensus, are we comfortable with it as is?
All right, thank you. Any other new business or comments from any of the commissioners or anyone else? That concludes what we have. At this time, I'd entertain a motion for adjournment.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it.